Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Temur Eldrazi Ramp on the draw for game one. Guide of Souls. Did not want to see that bog right now. Go for red and pass. And pass. I'd love to see a Eldrazi temple off the top. No temp. We'll go Sanctum. Unfortunately, I can't play the K command. So I got Talisman of Impulse and pass and pass. There's a Ragavan. What card do you float? The Guide or the Pride? Only one land. If you float the cat, I'm highly tempted. In fact, I think I will. Scry drop, exile, and done. I was really hoping to see a K command there, not gonna lie. Malevolent Rumble. I mean, I can rumble and still play the Writhing Chris. It's a consideration. Rumble. Temple. Play Temple. So we got blockers for days now. And pass. We can kick the Mycospawn next turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So we can go Mycospawn. We found their second land, unfortunately, but they're still land light. Again, we'd love to find a K return to sweep the board. Plains. Front of Johnny. Trigger. They get to float a card now. I do have a red source in the way of Ragavan. Okay, what you floating? Floats the Ragavan. It's a 4/3, so I will go to blocks. We block, and block. And before damage, we'll sack and sack, making it a 4/5. We'll take one from the guide. So sack 1, trigger 1, always yield. Sack 2, trigger. Again, would love to see a K return off top. And also that Pride still triggers, right? I did forget about that because of the Guide of Souls. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 minus... I'm thinking that... Or let's see. 8 minus 5 would be 3. I guess I could. Right? 8 minus 5 would be 3. So confirming Yeah, we can do it. So we'll go Verdant Cat, Fetch. I'll go for a Forest. We want to make sure that we do tap this correctly. Kick Myco. I want to leave the red. And before we even touch the floor, we're going to go E-Temp. Trigger. And cast K-Return. And opponent scoops it up. We'll take it. Alright. I'm going to be bringing in Dismember. I'm going to cut Ghost Quarter, keep the Gemstone, cut Emrakul. Is there a world where I want to bring in any number of Trinispheres? Maybe. Maybe not, though. I think we're fine without. And run it back like this. The reason why I bring back Dismember is because of cards like Clarion Conqueror, Ketramoses seeing a rise in play rate again. Ancient Stirring's on 1. I mean, what do we want off the top right now? Lab. Utopia Sprawl, so that's 8 by itself. We'll keep. And pass. Plains, Guide of Souls, passing, draw, Myco, Stomp Shock, for Stirrings. There's the K return. Any order, pass, and pass. So we need to try and cast this before they can grow. A Johnny here will make that hard though. Shock down to 16. A Johnny, yeah. Triggers. Attack for 1. Draw. Breeding Pool, Shock. Talisman, and pass. And pass. What else you got? And also, what do you grow is the question, right? Like, you know about the K return. Voice of Victory, Trigger. I imagine just grow the Guide of Souls, because I feel like growing the Johnny would be a bit weird. Yep, we'll take the 3. I do wonder... Galvanic Discharge, flip the Johnny now. Okay. Ambitious, but probably correct. So, draw Dismember. Commercial District, trigger, World Breaker to Yard. I can't play on their turns. I'm going to K return now, get rid of a cat. Unfortunately, it doesn't do too much here. We might just end up dying here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we just lose if they sequence this correctly. Molten Rain, 7. A Johnny will concede. Actually, no, we won't because they messed up. They need to attack first, then a Johnny. So we're not out of it, but I'm not exactly in a great position either. That's 6. Oh, actually, no, I'm still dead. That's 8, yeah. Never mind. Never mind. Loss for game 2. Yeah, I feel like the Johnny was correct. I'll cut the gemstone, bring back in the Emrakul, run it back. I do wonder if maybe we do want a K return inside. We don't see as much prowess, though I know my RCQ meta is going to be pretty saturated with it, so I'm thinking maybe 3 Trin and having 1 additional K return, but I'm not entirely sure about it. No green sources other than the Talisman. We draw into a 7 mana value spell, it's looking better. I'll keep it. Mulligan's a 6. We have 11 hits off the top, and 20 hits if we include green sources. It's not bad. Better than 33%. Ocelot Pride, we can deal with that. Draw. Wooded Foothill. Fetch. For a forest. They did bring in Molten Rain. Malevolent Rumble. Chrysalis or Myco. We'll go Myco. And pass. And hold. Combat. Attack. Go to blocks. Block. Sack. Pass. Again, would love the draw into a 7 mana value spell here. Plug in Parlor. And another Pride. Double Sprawl. Yeah, I mean, the Ugin Lab. No imprint. Pass, hold K command. You clearly have a slower hand. Main. Sacred Foundry Shock. The combat. Exile an Ocelot Pride. Done. Make a spawn to block. Combat. Attack. Go to blocks. The question now becomes why they shocked into Foundry. Right now we're kind of looking at Myco spawn here. Is it a Flage or a Molten Rain? Molten Rain. Hits my green source. Thankfully we can imprint the Emrakul, but we don't have any follow-up other than the Talisman, so we're short 1 on the Myco. We'll pass. I probably should not have tapped with the lab in retrospect. I should have tapped with the other 2 because now it's possible for them to just blow out my my Emrakul. Blood Moon. That's not much better, admittedly. It does brick them on white sources a little bit here. I will go Forest. For blue. And pass 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, shit. Like I said, I messed up there, admittedly. Discharge for 3. Another another Ocelot Pride. I would love a K return. Triggers, draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugin. I think I get rid of the Blood Moon, honestly. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Blood Moon. Although I should have Utopia Sprawled with mana neutral. And I guess I can Stomping Ground here. Blue. Just diversify in case of a Molten Rain. They can't ignore that the Ugin is the biggest thing. Bombardment. Ragavan. They can deal 5 down to 11. Generate 4. So 5, 6 down to 10. Generate 4. Am I alive by 1? Not even. Yeah. So I just died to that. Yep, I'll concede. I guess I should have taken out the Ocelot Pride. Yeah, that's on me. I think in retrospect, taking out the Ocelot Pride would have been better. Of course, we couldn't have anticipated a Goblin Bombardment of all things. But taking out the Pride would mean that they would have generated fewer cats, so it would have still been alive. The Ugin would have still been here. We'd have been gaining life, drawing cards. Yeah, that's on me. Alright, we'll be back for match 2. Alright, enter back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. 8 hits off the top in the way of Sprawl and Temple. Steam Vent Shock. Looking like Prowess. Yep. Draw. Sprawl. Sprawl for red. Pass. And pass. Setting up for the K return. Arid Mesa fetch. Corey Steel Cut trigger. Swift Spirit a Yard. And Bauble. Mutagenic Growth. Okay, that actually might work out in my favor unless they get another type into Yard. They do. So I'm going to want a K return, or K command first. Because now it is going to me for 5, 7, down to 13. Oh, I can't K command though. Shit. Draw. Sire. Talisman. And hold K command X0 in case it's necessary. Corey Steel Cut trigger. We're looking at 6 down to 7. So that will be an additional 2, 3. So 6, 10, preordain. If they find a mutagenic growth, we lose. Oh, you got to be joking me. So you can mitigate 4. So 7, 10. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cast the K command here on the 4/4 at least. That will target me. It blocks. And done. So I'll take 9. Mycospawn is interesting. Can shrink the DRC. Bobble trigger draw. So we can shrink the DRC and we can block 1. Because right now... not good. I know no matter how you cut it, we take 3 next turn. So I think I will Talisman, K return, pass, and pass. Oh, I'm just dead if they equip, the Corey Steel Cut. I should have played the Myco. EI. I missed the obvious line. Yeah, I should have signed Myco spawned, but Juka bogged. It might not have mattered if they trigger the Corey Steel Cuts anyways. Actually, I guess it wouldn't have mattered because they would have been dead to the Corey Steel Cuts. Steam Vent Shock down to 10 and preordain. We'll concede. Yeah, we just didn't draw the way we needed to. Alright, let's go to sideboard. Bring in Trinisphere. Cut the Gemstone. Cut the Ghost Quarter. Cut Emrakul. Cut... I want to say Breaker. And run it back. I was going to bring in Consigned Memory at the very minimum. Yeah. Alright. We are on the play for game 2. And there's Trinisphere. It's a turn 3 play though, so not ideal. Opponent mulligans down to 6. Reading Pool tapped and pass. And pass. Scouting Tarn. Bobble. Bobble target me. And draw. Temple. Talisman. Pass. Spell Snare, Consign. Consigned memory. Okay. A bit aggressive, admittedly, but we'll take it. Especially if you tap out on 2. Bobble. Bobble target me. Pass. Draw. Rumble. Cavernous Souls. Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. And pass. Trigger. They clearly have interaction in hand. Violent Urge to yard. Hold. Actually, there's no real reason to hold. We'll just pass on full. DRC. Land. Preordained trigger. That will give them Delirium. Lava Dart can hit the spawn. Do they hit the spawn with Lava Dart? Lava Dart, target spawn. Yep. DRC trigger. Draw. So in Myco spawn. I do like that from a perspective that we could Bajuka Bog, but I think here I'm going to Chrysalis, see if they consign the trigger. They do not. Forest will pass. Fetch. Tapped and passing. And they're conservatively playing around something. Shock to 13. EI trigger. Keeps it on top. EI resolves. Lava Dart. Lava Dart, target me, triggers DRC. Okay, that resolves. Bobble, trigger DRC. Bobble, target me. go to combat. You have to attack. That is non-negotiable, friend. Go to blocks. Trigger 1. Always yield. Trigger 2. I guess I didn't need to trigger it a second time, admittedly. Opponent concedes. Okay. Win for game 2. I do want my gemstone back, so I'll cut a chrysalis and run it back. Double Trinosphere. I will keep. I will pass. Temple. I mean, draw into a summon a value spell here would be good. Bobble trigger. Bobble target me. And 2. And draw. And draw. Temple. Pass. And pass. Would love to see a 7-mana value spell off the top that we could lab Talisman. Otherwise, we're going Windswept Teeth, Rumble. Unless we see a K command, then we're going to hold a K command X equals 2. Down to 15. Lightning Bolt, down to 15. 15 all. So they're just trying to rush me down. Lava Dart, down to 14. Down to 11. So yeah, I would really love to see a 7-mana value spell. That way we can actually Trinosphere now. And shields are down. Perfect. Trigger. Imprint. Trinosphere. Pass. And pass. Draw. Eldrazi Temple. Talisman. And pass. And pass. Yeah, I should have played the Windswept Teeth into the Rumble, admittedly. Down to 9. And draw. Down to 8. Trigger. Null Drifter. Windswept Teeth. Fetch. For Forest. 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, short one. I'll go with a commercial district. And pass. And pass. Sacred Foundry, shock to 13. Attack. Block. Unless you play Monstrous Rage, yeah, I was about to say, no damage should be going through. They could have Consign now, but if they play anything, shields are down. I mean, they know about the Null Drifter, they know about the K return. So not sure what the thought process is there. Cast Null Drift. Triggers. Draw 2. Sweep. ETB. Play Cavernous Souls. Name Eldrazi. Sire 7 deaths. And pass. And pass. Even if they have a consign, Sire can't be countered since we have Cavernous Souls on board. Monastery Swiftspear. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, what's Sanctum? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, one too many? 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. And Bone scoops it up. Alright. Solid win there. I mean, yeah, Trinisphere is good. I think opponent may have played too aggressively by tapping out as much as they did, but it worked out in the end for us. With that said, we'll be back for match number 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the draw for game 1. I will keep. We're looking for another soul land off the top. So we can K command X equals 2. I want to keep 6. K return. We do have a K return next turn if we need. Hold K command. Fetch Verdant Catacombs. I'm thinking that this is Yawg or Sam. I've seen more Yawg recently, which is interesting. Windswept Teeth and passing. Draw. Soul Land. Rumble. In that case, I will Forest. Rumble. Talisman wouldn't be bad. Fetch Windswept Teeth for Forest. Why? Talisman. Talisman for Ancient Stirrings. Swine Myco Spawn's not a bad idea here. We'll go Myco. Any order and pass. For types in yard. Seiju? Go for it. Commercial District, trigger. Forest. I'm gonna put 2 top actually. And pass. Blighted Halfling. Draw. I could just K-return. There is a thought to doing so if they're Mana Light. Or Land Light, rather. Stomping Grounds tapped. K-return. Pass. Yeah, unfortunately being unable to cast the K command was a bit rough. And pass. There's the Yawg I was trying to avoid. Draw Talisman. So in that case, I am casting Talisman. And Myco Spawn. For E-Temp and pass. And hold. So we'll be able to Sire 7 Death Sweep. Yawgmoth 1. Do not tell me you have a second Yawgmoth. I guess you'll just be able to kill the Myco in the meanwhile. Malevolent Rumble finds son of a frickin'. Takes the Yawgmoth. Oh, and a Spymaster's Vault? You have to be joking me. I mean, at this point, we pass in full. So they'll be able to draw as many cards as they need. They played a land for turn, though. I'm trying to think of what their options are, if any. I don't know if they can win this turn, thankfully. Not with the mana that they currently have access to. Oh, no, that's not true. An Agatha's Soul Cauldron would be really bad, actually. Because they have the Liston Yard. Attack. I have no reason not to block. Passing. Go to cleanup. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I'd like another land. That's perfect. So my thought process is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. X equals 1. So and trigger Kozilek's Return. So sacrifice spawn, target Yawgmoth. Yes. Trigger 1, trigger 2. Trigger 1. E4, trigger 2. Cast. Exile, exile. So target Yawgmoth. Target Yawgmoth. Done. And done. And pass. Okay, let's see if that was enough. Sire 7 Deaths is for all intent and purpose untouchable, without there being a sweeper. Rumble. Chooses Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Prosperous Innkeeper up to 7. No, not yet, actually. Sack. 1 Aggie. 1, 2 GSC for 1 Yawgmoth. So basically they have infinite life. Because now they can just loop the Yawgmoth. The thing is, I need them to actually gain life because I will be attacking in to gain my own. Yeah. Normally I just wouldn't attack, but since I have Sire, I kind of need to. So I need another K command. Yep, so they're, like I said, they are at theoretically 1,000,000 life. So I can't win by combat damage. Myco spawn. Go to combat. Up to 26. Sowing Myco spawn. We're going to want to get rid of that Spy Master's Vault. Otherwise they can draw their entire deck. And I think I also want to get rid of their Yard. And go Bajuka Bog. And pass. Again, I can't really win by combat damage alone. Sacrifice the Yawgmoth. Oh. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Transform Sephiroth. Whenever a creature dies, you get an emblem. Oh, shoot. Huh. Well, that's cool. It basically becomes a permanent... Oh, that's weird. It basically becomes a permanent blood artist. Oh, I hate that. And I'll concede. Alright. So that's a loss against Yawgmoth. So we definitely are going to want Grafdigger's Cage here. As well as Dismember. We can cut the Gemstone, cut the Ghost Quarter, cut the Emrakul, cut a Sire, and a Writhing Chrysalis. Let's run it back. On the play for game 2, Wicked Slow if nothing to play. Gonna mulligan this. And I can't keep this. Yikes. Like, we can K-command Cycle and hope. We have 9 hits off the top 4 green sources. Mulligan. I'll keep Pitch Breaker, Pitch Stirrings, done. Go Temple and pass. And pass. Yawgmoth. I would love to see a K command. Commercial District, trigger. Chrysalis to yard, and pass. And pass. Ignoble Hierarch, hit me for 2. Draw. Sprawl. Myco. I do get worried about... what is it called? Fulminator Mage. Forest. Resolves. Sprawl. For red. And pass. Currently have access to 7. 8. Yeah, Yawgmoth's gotten more interesting and more complex between Spymaster's Vault loops with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Thoughtseize hits the Null Drifter. Rough. Spymaster's Vault. Aggie's Soul. If I block, they grow, I'll take the hit. Play the lab, since they know already about it. Combat. The 15. I mean, worst case scenario here is... oof, dog. 2 to 14. Oh, you have to be joking me. Yeah. And ping. And so what they'll be able to do next turn is to Spymaster's Vault. Yeesh. Actually, no, they just win, don't they? Because they can just sack repeatedly. Yeah, never mind. They just win. Concede. Yeah, Yawg has gotten a lot better. I remember Yawg being dead not too long ago, but not looking so dead now, I'll be honest. Well, that said, we'll have to start thinking about how we play against Yawg. Either ways, we'll be back for match 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the play for game 1. I'll keep. 2K commands is nice, especially if I can find a 7-minute value spell off the Ancient Stirrings. Forest, so we have 11, 15 hits. We include temples. There's the temple. And pass. And pass. Wooded Foothills, fetch. Steam Vent, shock. Is it Prowess? It's looking like Prowess, so we're going to bolt the DRC of K command. Temp, K command. Exile. Don't want them sculpting the top of their deck. And pass. And pass. Love to see a 7-minute value spell off the top. Chrysalis would be good as well. So 11, 15 hits. Swift Spear will attack. No blocks. And draw. Misty Rain. Cavern of Souls, name Eldrazi. 2, 4, 5, 6. Like, I do want to exile at the very least. The question is whether or not we ramp or we exile, or we scry draw. I'm going to scry draw here. And done. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll go top and top. Draw, pass. No attacks. And pass. Slick Shot, Show Off, EI triggers Swift Spear. Again, we're getting rid of the DRCs so they can't sculpt their hand, or at least the top of their deck. Mutagenic Growth, cast, target Swift Spear, pushes it up to 5. Turn 3, no blocks. We'll take the 5 down to 14. Bauble. Why not play Bauble earlier? Weird. Bauble target me. We'll see the Stirrings. And draw. And draw. Four types in yard. Opponent. Hello. Opponent's Tinkin. Not sure what about. Stirrings. There's Chrysalis or a K command. I mean, K command would just get rid of the Monastery Swift Spear, anything else we need to deal with. So let's go K command. Any order. Ugin Lab. Imprint. Hold the K command. And we'll wait until combat. 1, 2. Slick Shot is fine. Combat, K command. And done. Second main. End step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Return Sire to hand. And draw. Sprawl's mana neutral. So I will go Misty Rain. Fetch. Forest. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So we can eat Toby Sprawl without much issue here. Red. Sire 7 deaths and pass. Scouting Tarn fetch. Thundering Falls. What are we thinking? I mean, they need to deal with the Sire, which is going to be easier said than done, because they kind of need the Slick Shot and a Violent Urge in order to make that happen. I do wonder... Lava Dart. We'll pass. Preordain. So not playing the Slick Shot, otherwise they would have done that prior to casting the Preordain. That would be my guess, at least. Let's see what they find, if anything relevant based on the current board state. One top, one bottom draw. Okay. And, okay, they just tapped out with another Slick Shot. Emrakul. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Shock. Our turn, comrade. So I imagine they just concede here because we will basically take both Slick Shot show-offs and then attack them into Emrakul Sire. Sire has pseudo hexproof now. Violent Urge, Mutagenic Growth, Preordain, Wooded Foothills. So I go to main, cast Slick Shot, resolve, cast Slick Shot, resolve, Mutagenic Growth, target Sire. Actually, this is funny because I'm going to... actually, no, we're going to Violent Urge target Sire. Because then I can just pay the 7. I was like, yeah, well, you know, just target Sire. I'm like, wait a second, they have to pay the word cost. That's funny. Alright, Prowess, win for game 1. Bring in Trinisphere. Cut Ghost Quarter. Cut Emrakul, Breaker, Chrysalis. Run it back. All right. Nine hits off the top for green sources. And then another 4, 13 hits. Yeah, we'll keep it. Thundering Falls. Mutagenic Growth to yard. And draw. Cavernous Souls. In that case, I'll just start with E-Temp and pass. We can Bojuka Bog next turn. I think that would make more sense. Bloodstain Mire, fetch to 19. Steam Vent Shock to 17. Red for Swift Spear. Do you hold up the blue source? You do. Draw. Maiko. The Jukabog target you. and pass. A bit of a slow start, but it might be okay. Comes down to do they put shields down this turn or not. If they do, then we'll be able to play Trinisphere. If not, we play the Mycospawn, see if we can eat a Consign. To 15, it is Jeskai, so they should have access to Prismatic. Corey Steel Cut. Do you have a Bauble? No. This one went to blue again. Commercial District. Avernus Souls, name Eldrazi. Sowing Mycospawn. Does the trigger resolve? If it does, we'll go for a green source. It does not. So there's the Consign out of hand. Yep. Pass in full. So in that case, we're looking at Trinisphere if they shields down. They targeted the body. In that case, I want to make sure I press 5. But opponent might just shame scoop here. They do not. I will go Forest. Resolve. Sprawl. For red. And pass. So currently have 6. We could go down to 5, trying to find a soul land. If they leave a blue source up. Attacking. And I'll block. Let's see what you got. Red. Red. Red, red. Want this? Again, leaving up blue. And Bone scoops it up. Alright. Well, we will be back for match 5. Alright, enter back for match 5. On the play for game 1. I will keep Ugin Lab, Imprint, cast Talisman, and pass. And pass. Question becomes what we're playing against. Running Cat Fetch, Overgrown Tomb Shot, could be Yawg. That's a Rot Priest. Interesting. Cyrus 7 deaths. We can play that next turn. So I will go Malevolent Rumble for a... Suppose for a forest. So this is Infect. Could go for Commercial District. Might not be a bad idea, actually. Go for District. K command. And I think I'm going to actually Scry Draw here. And done. Trigger. Brawl to bottom, draw, gemstone, pass. And pass. Guess I made a spawn. I could have played the commercial district to dig deeper. Infect, draw. I'm gonna sweep. Conan's thinking on upkeep. Why? Another K return. Oh, didn't want to do that. Temple. 2, 5, 6, 7. K return, sweep. Sire's 7 deaths. Pass. Yeah, I might just sandbag the Null Drifter so I can trigger the K return a third time. Just keeping bodies off board is what I need to do here in this matchup. What in the world? For 3 mana. An Infect? GSC? I guess GSC for 1 for Rot Priest, but why 2? Phyrexian Crusader's fine. Protection from red is actually relevant here. Because K return deals damage, which means it does have protection. Actually, it's Devoid. Never mind. Haha! Almost forgot about that. And K command, that will work. Commercial district trigger, talisman to yard. Do I have any reason to cast the K command right now? Probably not. I'll just hold then. I mean, you can't block. You're gonna go down to 9. We can exile the Crusader if we really need. We'll hold the K command. Nurturing Peatland. One Rancor. Okay. It's a 4-2. First strike trample, sure. Not too concerned about that. Okay. Go to blocks. Let's see what you have to pump it. I kind of want you to empty your hand before I cast this K command. Weird. Block? No, that's fine. 3/3 Sires, A-okay by me. Two, 3 Deluge, Crusader. End step. K command. Let's just scry draw. done. Bottom. 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 Top. Top, draw. And draw. Green. We'll sacrifice a spawn. Rumble. Summon Myco spawn. Stomping Grounds is in yard though, which is a bit awkward admittedly. Cavernous Souls. Kick the Myco spawn. I'll kick this. Grab an E-Temp. 4, 6, 7. We could play the Null Drifter. I have no reason to, though. Okay, down to 5. Lethal's on board. Yawgmoth Nexus. Okay. Rancor. Fine. Begin combat. End step. Well, I'm just going to K command, scry draw exile. And done. Morale treatment. Rude. But it still dies is the thing. Bottom. Bottom. Top and draw? Oh, hexproof, right, never mind. Never mind. Alright. 'Tis a sprawl. One card in hand. So, what can I do here? First strike, pro. Well, I'm gonna start by kicking a Myco spawn. Target Yawgmoth. I'm gonna make Yawgmoth into... No? Okay. That's fine. I'll grab a Sanctum of Ugin. 3, 4, 7, trigger. I don't want to be able to play the return, so I think I might just hold and call it a day. Phase change. Go to combat. You cannot. It has Menace. Opponent. You can try it a second time, but does not act as a second blocker. It do in fact have Menace. It still has Menace, no matter how many times you attempt to block with just the Phyrexian Crusader. Okay, I think they figured it out. Maybe. Down to 2. I will... Still debating whether or not we just Null Drift. I think it just might be worth it. At the same time, I mean, like, we're in a winning position. I'm just gonna pass. All right. Because more or less, if they attack, we just block all. Draw a card. Land. 2 in hand. Green. Might. 9/7. Trample. Go to the blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So go to blocks. Okay. Yep, leave the spawns, perfect. End step. Return Null Drift to hand. And I might as well fire off the K return now. K return. And draw. Tis a talisman. I will cast the Null Drifter. Guess actually I should tap a bit differently. Tap the Sanctum. Triggers. Draw 2. Here's a Chrysalis. I'll say yes. I'm gonna go with an Emrakul. And yes. Rancor trigger, Null Drifter. 7, 11, 12, so we're short. I can Breeding Pool, Shock, Utopia Sprawl. Oop. 4 green. 4 red. Play a Talisman. And and Chrysalis. And pass. And pass. I mean, I don't foresee you finding a way out of this, but stranger things have happened. And opponent skips stop. Alright, we'll take the win against Infect. Dismember does seem right. Trinisphere I'm not sure about, and this is something that I would consider. Bog we can cut, and I'm thinking Emrakul? I don't know. I mean, Emrakul's not bad. Maybe the World Breaker? Maybe Ugin. Yeah, maybe Ugin just because targeted removal gets a bit iffy here, right? Yeah, we'll do that. I don't think of what opponent will bring in, but I'm not entirely certain, to be honest. Not horribly familiar with this matchup. 11, 15 hits off top. I'll keep. I'll pass. Opponent goes down to 6. Keep 6. Rot Priest. In that case, Forest, Dismember. All their shields are down. Pass. And pass. Over on Tomb Shock for double green Myrrh. I guess they don't play blue. Because I'd expect the Blighted Agent instead. Sprawl for red. Foothills, pass. Gonna pause on end step. Alright, how much infect damage are we gonna take? And will it equal 9 or more? Green, 5. You need 4 more. I mean, scale up. Would scale up do it at this point, or do you have to play scale up first? The 6. 3 cards in hand. Glintstone. Glintstone or Glistener Elf? Not Elden Ring. We don't have Elden Ring cards yet. I'm telling you, I do imagine eventually we'll see a FromSoft MTG like Secret Lair or just set. There's a lot of cool cards that I could foresee being printed. Trigger, Verdant Catacombs. I do not need more lands, please. Draw. Talisman. In that case, I'll Breeding Pool Shock. Cast Sowing Mycospawn for a temple and pass. I mean, if they have another pump, we're pretty much dead. I guess the question then becomes, do I block the Ichor Core or Ichor Clomber or the Glistener Elf? Regardless, Mycospawn shrinks down to a 2/2, but if I block the Ichor Core or Ichor Claw, then it just dies. So might as well keep up a blocker, I suppose. I'll block the elf. Do you have a pump spell? Up to 7. Another Glistener. Draw. That works. So I will play Windswept Teeth. No attacks. Do I play the Talisman? I don't think that's necessary. I will pass. No attacks. I'm thinking Scrydraw Ramp. Just the Ichor Claw. I'm going to fetch. Fetch for a forest. And K command. Scrydraw Ramp. X equals 5. I guess maybe Excellent wouldn't have been bad. There's a K return, which is solid. Bottom all. And then top, draw. I don't know if they have anything that would give it trample. Does Might give it trample? It does not. Block. Do I block with Spawn or block with the Myco Spawn is the question. We could get in 2 damage before we sweep and Null Drift. I'll just block. Trigger. Dead. And draw. And we have the sweeper. We want to play at sorcery speed. So I think I'll sack the spawns and then cast the K return to start. K return. Sweep. Cast Null Drifter. Triggers. Draw 2. Another K return. No. Resolve. Confirming that this is a red source. Yes. Forest. And hold the K return. And hold. Rot Priest. End step. Cast. Rot Priest down. Draw. Combat. Trigger. Annihilator will force you to sack a land. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Talisman 7, and then Uggin's Lab. I wonder if those Phyrexian Crusaders are stuck in hand right now because they're missing a second black source. So I'll likely sacrifice a forest as a result. There is also a thought to just sandbagging the Sire. That way we can K return. They'll be at 14. No, I think it's just better for me to cast it. Cast Talisman. Triggers. No. No. Lab. Trigger. Passing. And pass. I don't foresee a way of them getting out of this. Land could fetch. Do you have that Crusader like I was thinking you do? That's a bad idea. You're at 11? That's lethal damage. You can't block. I think opponents realizing that too. They're thinking they had a blocker for the Sire, but they don't. And that will be exactly lethal damage. Combat. Annihilator trigger. And opponent scoops it up. Alright. Not bad. So that will result in a 3-2 record at the end of 5, which is not a bad result, all things considered. Let's take a peek at our matches that we lost. First, kind of our losses in general. Energy, I want to say I did make a misplay there, where I could have played a bit tighter. I'm just trying to remember what it was. Maybe not. Yeah. I think what we learned from energy in general is we need Dismember in for the Clarion Conqueror. I forget if that came up in this match or if it was another match I played in earlier. But sometimes energy just rolls you. Prowess, pretty solid. Trinosphere, good card. Shocking no one. I think the 2 Prowess matches today convinced me, yeah, I just will play Prowess or play Eldrazi Ramp this Saturday. The Prowess matchup feels very winnable. Yawgmoth actually feels really rough. I've played against a decent amount of Yawgmoth. Not a decent, but some Yawgmoth since the release of Final Fantasy. And it has felt pretty good as of recent. And I think Sephiroth probably adds an additional layer to that. I'm not sure how much better it is than just like a Marionette Apprentice or Blood Artist, etc., right? But the fact that it can flip and then basically just give you an emblem, and we have no way to interact with emblems currently. I do think at some point, I would be shocked if it doesn't. At some point, get printed with like emblem interaction. I have no idea what that will look like, but I would be absolutely shocked if we didn't. At one point or another, get a card that interacts with emblems. But as of right now, them getting a permanent emblem that says I have a Blood Artist that cannot be interacted with is insane amount of value. So that is interesting. And it feels like between the what was it, the Black Land, the Spy Master's Vault, I have a Soul Cauldron lines. I mean, they're able to basically make a infinitely, not infinitely, but like as big as they need wolf to attack in or just ping down with ballista. They're able to obviously do the normal Yogg shenanigans. They now have Sephiroth. Yeah, a lot of interesting lines out of Yogg. Otherwise, clean wins against Prowess, against Infect, so not much to worry about there. So So I think the list feels good right now. Still not sure if no Karn is right. I feel like we are seeing less artifact-based decks. I know we're seeing some more, whatchamacallit, some more brood scale because people are finally catching on that deck is good. So I do have a little bit of concern there that brood scale seen an uptick, and if brood scale seen an uptick, that we might need to consider Karn again. But then again, we also run 3 Disruptor Flutes inside, which can definitely help by naming. Whatchamacallit? Bladed Blood Chief. Belcher is at 6.2%, which isn't small. Basking Brood Scale is at 6. Man, I don't know. The more I look at this, the more I get a little bit concerned that maybe Karn is right. Like, Prowess has fallen off the map in the last 7 days. 3.4%. So it's really like Boros Energy at 19.3%. But Belcher Brood Scale at 6% each? Huh. I hadn't looked at that. Not to mention Mono Green. So really it's at 15%. I mean, that's 15% of the meta in the last 7 days with heavy artifact synergies. Affinity at 2.8, so we're looking at like 18%. I mean, that's almost as much as energy in the last 7. I might be doubling back because yeesh. Yeah. I might be doubling back on myself here because that seems pretty significant. The only problem that I foresee is the fact, at least for me in my RCQ this weekend, if I kind of just want to talk about myself and not like MTGO as a whole, is that I know like a large portion of my meta is going to be Prowess. Then again, I'm not sure if like the Ancient Stirrings really helps with that. I guess it does, like on turn 1, I'm like, okay, I don't have a Trinisphere in hand, but I have an Ancient Stirrings. It allows me to dig 5 deeper for the potential Trinisphere on 2, right? If I have a Lab and 7-minute value spell. So there's a thought there where that might be applicable. But at the same time, I know that for me, at my RCQ, there's going to be at least one Basking Brood Scale combo player. I know that for a fact. Probably one Belcher player. Might be Red Belch, but Karn does at least, you know, attack an angle of that matchup in game 1, which would be relevant. At the same time, Disruptor Flute in game 2 does help both those matchups, is my thought, right? So we could play without Karn in main. We'd be weaker in the game 1, but not like absolutely dead to Belch, because at least we can interact in the way of summoning Mega Spawn and Ghost Quarter. Basking Brood Scale is a little bit trickier. We're really relying pretty heavily on K Command and K Return to give us an upper leg in that matchup. But yeah, that's something to think about. Affinity's kind of fallen off, though. Affinity has kind of fallen off. So I do think maybe the Lithomantic Barrages aren't as necessary, and probably instead looking at Dismember for Ketra as Oculus and Blink have started to rise again. Or is that mid-range back at 5.7, a similar variant in, whatchamacallit, Esper at 2.6, so looking at 8% there. Yeah, and Ketra sometimes sees some play in Murktide or Oculus as well. Interesting. Yeah, this meta is developing in an interesting way. Before, like, the last season, right, since the release of, what was it, Tarkir, we were playing in much more of an aggro meta. But it looks like the meta's starting to move away from aggro, even though energy's still at a very high percentage. Zoo is definitely up there, though, as well. Interesting. It's only going to develop further as we see testing be done with Boros Hammer, with the new tools that it's been given. I think that we could see a return of like Heliod combo with Aerith, Walking Ballista, Spike Feeder, Agatha Soul College, and all that fun stuff. There's a lot of cool things I think are going to come out of the Final Fantasy season. But that does make me question whether or not I want to play Karnless or not this Saturday. I think I want to play Karnless still, but MTGO I start to question whether or not Karnless is correct. I mean, I think the best thing to do is just to test all the options in that slot, right? We have Ancient Stirrings, we have Stock Up, we have Planner Genesis, we have, Winter Night Stories, we have cards. We have like 5 cards in that slot that we can test a bit thoroughly. So I think we have some good options and some good testing to do. I just need, I think the minimum for a good data analysis, like 30 games with those cards in hand. And since they're only taking up like 2 slots, I'm like, might be a bit hard to get data quickly, but I'll try my best. Either ways, I'm going to end my ramblings there. As always, if you did enjoy today's video, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback. It is always appreciated. For as much that I hope that you all learn from me in both my success and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button, as we're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. At that point, I'll be able to start monetizing these videos, allowing me to start saving up towards a streaming PC so I can stream live over on Twitch. In the meantime, though, if you do want to support me monetarily, you can do so over on my Patreon, where you can get early access to my YouTube videos and any updates I make to my deck guides. With that being said, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!